Hello guys, it's been a while. I've been working on a project Ghana Vision 2050, putting on paper strategic and non-negotiable measures that can help the country see the limelight in the next 2 to 3 decades. In today's episode, we are going to look at the Ministry of Finance, key policies and constitutional reforms that are needed to drive this change. The first on our list is the favorite list for payment or budget arrears. Currently, as I speak, the government owes a lot of contractors and companies who have undertaken key governmental projects like fixing roads, building schools, and hospitals. Now, in the Ministry of Finance currently as we speak, there is no strict rule or strict policy that says that the bills or invoices of older contractors must be paid before the newer ones. And because of this, some contractors tend to pay bribe to have their contracts paid ahead of their colleagues. So imagine if significant portion of the money that is going to be used to undertake a project is being diverted into private pockets, what happens? The project will either delay, the project will either be built poorly, or the project will be abandoned completely. You know, if you do anything, if you take bribe. The second policy we must address if you are to see the limelight in 2050 is what I call the no competition or the sole sourcing contract. In every advanced organization or in every advanced country, if you are doing purchases or you are doing procurement, there must be a competitive bidding. You must solicit price from 5 or 3 or 7 or whatever number you might categorize and check the relatively prices and go with a cheaper one. If a school wants to purchase 500 laptops, what is the unit price from this seller? What is the unit price from that seller? Then we do comparative price analysis and we go with the cheaper one. But the Ministry of Finance, as we speak currently, allows what we call sole sourcing, where contracts are given to family and friends who charges double or triple the amount of what the laptop is actually worth, and the rest of the money is split among the government officials and the company involved. So we must end sole sourcing. Don't term it as an emergency. Don't give us any flimsy excuses. End sole sourcing, do proper competitive bidding, and go with cheaper option. Because what happens is that in order to compensate for those revenue losses, the government will have to borrow more. And the government borrows more, national debt goes high. Now, the third policy we must address before 2050 is what I call the fragmented system. Different government offices using different computer systems that doesn't communicate or network with each other. The Ministry of Finance cannot track if a project has already been paid for by another department. They cannot easily track it. So if you have a smarter scammer, he can submit multiple or 2 or 3 bills to 3 different departments and receive multiple payments for one project. So you need a unified system, a unified computer system, a unified computer software that is tracking along everything or on the same dashboard. Now let's look at some constitutional blind spots that we must address before 2050. The first is, in every advanced or in every balanced society, power is being splitted among different group of people. But unfortunately, within Ghana, the constitution allowed the president of Ghana to literally appoint and fire every boss in the country, including the head of police, tax agencies, anti-corruption teams. So if a government official or if a government worker sees corruption, he's afraid that if he speaks up, he or she will be fired. So they keep quiet, sometimes benefit from the corruption 1 or 2, 3 times, then they become addicted. We must relinquish the executive of some powers and some autonomy if we want to see the limelight. The second constitutional blind spot we must address is what I call the lawyer with 2 jobs. The Attorney General cannot have 2 jobs. The Constitution gives the Attorney General 2 jobs. The first one is that he's the President's personal lawyer and advisor. And the second one is that he's the Chief Prosecutorial who puts people in jail. So imagine if the current Attorney General is somebody who puts people in jail and a top-ranking government official steals money. Do you think he's going to put his ally or his boss in jail? No. So there is conflict of interest. And mind you, the Attorney General can use constitutional powers like nolle prosecutorial, nolle prosecute, to silently drop those corruption cases, and he would, without explaining nothing to the public. You can't do anything about it. The final one is what I call the hall monitor with no power, the Auditor General. The Constitution grants him the power to audit all these governmental agencies, do all the mathematics, do all the analysis, come out with all his findings, publish it. The public gets mad for 1 or 2 weeks, and nobody actually goes to jail because he doesn't have prosecutorial powers. So these are some constitutional reforms you must address before we can see the limelight in 2050. Now, in our next episode, we are going to look at sustainable and strategic ways to create our national budget. That will be the next video. And once we are done with the Ministry of Finance, we go to another ministry, and on and on and on. So we are going to look at sustainable and strategic ways to create our national budget. We are going to look at strategic ways to mobilize or raise revenue for the country because our tax to GDP is terrible, and some others. So this is the first episode. I don't want to keep the video long. And then thank you. It's been a while. Thank you for being a loyal follower. Put your comments in the comment section, like, share with other social reformers. Thank you. Sasa